Greetings to you out there. This is Father Love and you are welcome to Make Love Go Viral. So you may have heard this powerful and inspiring story coming out of the First World War of the deep friendship between two soldiers in the trenches. Jim and Bill, they were serving together in the mud and the misery of that wretched European stalemate. Actually, one version of the story identifies them as actual brothers. But the thing is, they were real buddies. So month after month, they lived out their lives in the trenches, in the cold and the mud, under fire and under orders, as military. So from time to time, one side or the other rise up out of the trenches, fling their bodies against the opposing line and slink back to lick their wounds, bury their dead, nurse themselves back to reasonable level of health and strength, and wait to do it all over again. That is war for you. So in the process, friendships were formed in that misery. So two soldiers became particularly close according to this version of the story, and day after day, night after night, terror after terror, they talked about life, about families, about hopes and dreams, about what they would do when and if they returned from this horror. So on one more fruitless charge, Jim fell severely wounded. So his friend Bill made it back to relative safety of the trenches. And meanwhile, Jim lay suffering beneath the night flares between the trenches, alone. So as the shelling continued, the danger was at its peak, and obviously between the trenches was no place at all to be. So despite that, Bill wished to reach his friend, to comfort him and to offer some sort of encouragement that only friends can offer. So the officer in charge refused to let Bill leave the trench, and of course, we can understand his position. He was worried about his safety, and it was simply too dangerous, So as he turned his back, however, Bill went over the top, ignoring the smell of cordite in the air, the concussion of incoming rounds, and the pounding, that fear in his chest. But he made it to where Jim was. So sometime later, he managed to get Jim back to the safety of the trenches. Sadly, it was too late. He had given up the spirit. So the officer, seeing Jim's body, asked Bill cynically if it had been worth the risk. And Bill's response was, without hesitation, "Yes, sir. It was," he said. My friend's last words made it more than worth it. He looked up at me and said, "I knew you'd come." It is not just about having friends. It's about having friends that we can trust with our lives. Friends we know that will always be there. And how good a friend are you? Mother Teresa said, "Love has a hem to her garment that reaches the very dust. It sweeps the streets and lanes, and because it can, it must." Friendship, love, confidence, trust.